Hey there. So, this is a picture of an alleged email that allegedly was recently released. Now, if you paid real close attention to the stuff that's being released that the FBI and the Department of Justice have had regarding what's called the Epstein files, there's a lot of stuff that some of it ended up in discovery and like civil cases, but there's an issue with the emails because I heard a word that was very concerning, and the word was unverified. So technically, the word unverified means that it wasn't obtained via a subpoena or subpoena ducis tecum, which is if, like, say, for example, the FBI obtained the emails from this email source, the company, then it would be verified. Okay? Or let's say that it's obtained through those same methods via a civil case, and then somehow, the FBI got it, it would be verified. But let's say somebody just hands over emails to the FBI or something like that, but they didn't, too much time had passed and they weren't able to actually go back and get the actual verified emails from, like Google or Yahoo or whatever. So I have a big problem with the word unverified emails because it's common, like there's no reason why an email would be in the possession of the FBI and the Department of Justice or to be used in any kind of civil case and not be verified. That's a big problem. So, this image is a classic example of just garbage being shared on the internet, okay? So, I'm going to show you what emails actually look like back in 2017. I'm going to show you an email that's actually from Google on I actually have emails from 2017. Okay, so the thing is, now this is not stating whether or not that this is being read on a desktop, but it was definitely sent by an iPhone, okay? However, there's some clear things here that's very evident that this is fake. Now, in Yahoo, not Google, you will see these lines here, okay? So that's consistent. However, you're not going to see this bold line like that. You're not going to see this date and time above the username. That's a big problem. So I'm going to show you some pictures using AI that actually pulls pictures from the internet of what they would look like at that time. And that means from like when, whenever Yahoo does like, big changes, it'll give you examples. It'll do like an article. Oh, hey, we're making changes and this is what the updated, it's what it's going to look like, or blah, blah, blah. This is our new interface or whatever. And you'll have those images from back then. So that's what I'm going to show you. See this right here? And I said, so as an example, the timestamp next to the recipient info would look like this. Jane Doe at blah, blah, blah. And the times date would be next after the email. Yes, that format is consistent with how Yahoo Mail and most email clients, okay, displayed sender or recipient information alongside timestamps in 2017, especially when viewing full headers or expanded message details. How about that solid bold line above the from to info headers at top of the email? In Yahoo Mail's standard desktop interface from 2017, there was not a solid bold line above the from to subject or date headers in the opened email view. Instead, the layout used subtle visual separation, typically a light gray horizontal divider or spacing between the toolbar, for example, reply forward in the header block. The header block itself, the from to subject, was not boxed or bordered with bold lines. In full header view, accessed via view raw message or more, the headers appear as plain text with no graphical lines. Now keep in mind there are third-party email viewers like Outlook or Thunderbird. Okay, if you're seeing a bold line in a screenshot or email client, it's likely from, but you're still going to have the email date and time consistently. So Outlook and Thunderbird did have a date and time after user email on the same line. It says yes, both Outlook and Thunderbird in the 2017 typically display the sender's email address followed by the date and time on the same line or in close proximity, especially in full header view or message previews. If you notice here, it is below. The date and time is below the from. And keep in mind, I did ask, of course, if there's any variance between mobile viewing and desktop viewing. The time and date is above the name, not next to it, not below it. My conclusion is that this is a very suspicious picture because, well, to start with, it's not verified. Why wouldn't it be verified, especially if it's coming from the FBI? That means the FBI didn't obtain it, because if the FBI got it, I guarantee you they would have got it via subpoena or subpoena duces tecum. This is where it gets real fun and interesting. So, based upon the actual timestamps, if you notice in the header, the timestamp is 8:37 seconds, 17 p.m. Okay, but it is on the 8th, which is a different day. Okay, meaning there are multiple dates in this thread. However, with just the top two messages closest to the header, this is the order. You have 8:37, you have 9:55 at the message that's closest to the top, and then at the bottom, same date, you have 2:10 p.m. This is what it says. Forensic inconsistencies. The reply appears before the message it's responding to. The 2:10 p.m. iPhone message appears below the 9:55 p.m. message, but the top header says the email was sent at 8:37 p.m., which is before the 9:55 p.m. message ever occurred. This is chronologically impossible unless the thread was manually reconstructed. The timestamps were altered. The email client misrendered the order, rare but possible with corrupted threading. The top header timestamp, 8:37 p.m., is earlier than the message it contains, 9:55 p.m. If the email was sent at 8:37 p.m., it cannot contain a message timestamped 9:55 p.m. The 9:55 p.m. was inserted later. The email was manually edited or fabricated. The iPhone reply at 2:10 p.m. appears below later messages. iPhone replies in 2017 always appeared above the quoted message unless manually or rearranged. If the 2:10 p.m. message is below a 9:55 p.m. message, that's a threading violation. Unless the email client flattened the thread, which Yahoo and iOS Mail did not do by default. So the forensic interpretation. The structure suggests manual manipulation in the thread order or content. Timestamp inconsistencies that violate chronological logic. Possible fabrication or tampering, especially if this is being presented as a continuous thread. If you're analyzing this for evidentiary purposes, I recommend exacting the full headers for each message, especially date, message ID, and reply to, and references. Verifying the threaded logic using a forensic email tool or by parsing the .eml files. Comparing against known authentic iPhone and Yahoo email reply structures. Now, granted, regardless, it doesn't say what email source. We know that Gmail's involved. Okay, but the other party's email is redacted. But the problem is the solid line at the top of the email, and pretty much the format was pretty consistent as far as different emails. And I can go into all the different things that I've looked up, but I'm already almost 10 minutes into this video. But the bottom line is, the very important thing is that the emails are not verified. Why would emails not be verified if they're coming from one of the most highly intelligent agencies in the world, the FBI, Department of Justice. How did they get these emails? Did somebody just walk in and hand them an email and say, hey, this is what I got? And they weren't able to verify it because, too much time had passed by the time they got them? Why are they not verified? Why are they saying they're not verified? And who's? This is just something that's circulating online, and I just want people to be aware and hope you have a blessed day. Bye.